What is up? What is up? What is up, y'all? It's yours truly, Landry, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, sorry about that, y'all. I had someone knocking at the door. I had to go check real quick. Not sure why, but okay. Anyway, in today's video, we will be reacting to some money troubles, I guess, that are impacting Floyd Mayweather. I saw like some posts about it on social media, and I figured, you know what, why not react to some of it and then post it. So let's see what is happening over to the Mayweather camp.
They call him Money Mayweather. For 25 years, that name meant one thing: absolute, unshakable financial power. A man who flaunted $500,000 in cash like it was pocket land,
Okay.
twin Gulfstreams, an $18 million watch strapped to his wrist like it was a Casio. He built an entire empire on one single premise: that he was too smart to get hustled, too disciplined to take a hit, and way too rich to ever go broke. But stay with me for the next 20 minutes, because what I'm about to show you proves that premise just died in 2026. Not quietly, not behind closed doors, in public, in real time, with paper trails nobody can spin. Now, if you caught my last video, you already know the foundation of this story: the staggering burn rate, the bounce multi-million-dollar checks to Miami jewelers, the $340 million lawsuit against Showtime, where financial records mysteriously vanished in a flood. That video went viral because people are finally done falling for the smoke and mirrors. But since then, the situation didn't slow down. It exploded. What was a quiet cash flow problem is now a full-blown public emergency. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the man who built his whole identity on being untouchable might be about to lose everything he has left. Now, I'm Lionel B. This is a story you need to hear right now.
Okay.
Chapter 1: The skyscraper empire collapses. Now, let's start with the bombshell that just hit public record over the last few months, because this one is bigger than anything from the last video. For years, whenever anyone questioned Floyd's liquidity, he had one card he'd always play: real estate. He told anyone with a microphone that he wasn't just a boxer anymore, he was a real estate mogul.
I mean, real estate is one of the ways that the rich, like get richer or whatever. As they tend to invest in properties and then they rent it out to people like myself and others, and then they collect rent. And then I heard that during tax season they can like write off a few things like appliances. I don't know, like deterioration and then aging or something like that. Whatever. I'm not too versed into real estate, so I don't know.
He pointed to commercial ventures in New York City tied to the real estate giant CGI Merchant Group, and he used that name to project an image of stable, generational, institutional wealth. Not fight money, not exhibition money, real wealth building wealth. Well, the bill just came due and the receipts are brutal. Now, leaked legal findings and industry reports have revealed that Floyd's primary commercial real estate holdings are now facing massive foreclosure proceedings. Now, these are not minor missed payments. These properties are in default on their loans, which means institutional lenders
he has a lot
are
of
moving
cars
to
too.
seize the assets outright because the debt service isn't being met. When the commercial real estate market shifted, Floyd didn't have the liquid cash reserves sitting on the side to bail out his own positions. Now, think about what that means for a minute. Now, the skyscraper empire wasn't a cash generating machine like he told the world. It was a highly leveraged deck of cards. And the second the wind shifted direction, the whole damn thing came down. But here's the part that should really concern you if you're still holding on to the idea that Floyd is somehow fine. This is only the first domino, because what happened to his personal property next is even harder to watch. I want to introduce you to GLD, and y'all, I'm absolutely obsessed
Sorry about
with
that,
this
my guy.
brand.
We're gonna have to skip
And whether
this.
you're entry level telling you, by adding GLD, that cheap stuff, you can see it. They got everything on deck cheap. Now, brand new customers, subscription and go get fresh. Chapter 2, the first sale. For the last decade, Floyd's signature flex wasn't subtle. It was his color-coded fleet. Yep. White cars in Las Vegas, black cars in LA, Bugattis, multi-million-dollar Paganis, custom Rolls Royces lined up like
he
a
has a lot of
casino
cars,
floor
like,
instead
really.
of a garage. Within the last 90 days, high-end exotic car brokers in Miami and Las Vegas have quietly confirmed something that should stop you right in your tracks. Floyd is aggressively trying to liquidate that fleet. And I want you to peek the specific word, liquidate. He's not trading these cars in for newer models. He's not upgrading. He's offloading rare, low-mileage vehicles below market value just to get instant wire transfers into his account. Now, when a man who
he has to do what he has to
his
do.
name to
You hear
money
me?
starts fire selling his most prized, most photographed, most publicly flexed possessions behind closed doors, that tells you everything you need to know about what his actual bank balance looks like right now. This isn't a man managing his portfolio. This is a man trading depreciating flexes for emergency survival cash. And if you think that's rock bottom, wait until you hear who else is knocking on his door.
Don't tell me it's the boys.
3, Uncle Sam comes knocking.
Oh
Now
shit,
you think
man.
that after the IRS hit him
The boys
with
are
a
after him, bruh.
$22 million lien following the Conor McGregor fight, Floyd would have learned his lesson about handling Uncle Sam. He did not. New public record showed the federal government is back on his bumper. Additional tax notices and state-level penalties have quietly piled up in the background while Floyd was busy posting highlight reels from his old fights. And here's the brutal truth about the IRS that no amount of PR can spin away. They don't care about your boxing record. They don't care about your undefeated 0.
They
don't
want
care
their
about your
money,
Instagram
money,
engagement. They want
money.
cold hard cash on the schedule, and right now Floyd's liquid capital is tied up in uncollectible debts, collapsing real estate partnerships, and legal fees that keep multiplying. So now, picture the full financial anatomy of this man in 2026. Foreclosed commercial towers, a fire sale car collection, and a growing pile of federal tax liens. That's not a rough patch, that's a structural collapse. And it's about to get even more desperate because now we have to talk about what he's doing to actually make money. Chapter 4, the desperation circuit. Now, in my last video, I told you Floyd was booking exhibition fights in the Congo and in Greece just to keep fuel in his private jets. Well, the logistics behind the latest overseas appearances have exposed something even more telling. Promoters overseas are now reporting that Mayweather's team is demanding upfront cash advances just to get him on the plane. Peep that again.
That doesn't sound good,
He
Floyd.
isn't
That
waiting
doesn't
on a
sound
pay-per-view
good.
revenue split anymore. He needs to deposit immediately before he even boards just to cover overhead back home. Now, that is not the behavior of a man sitting on generational wealth. That is the behavior of a man managing a cash flow crisis one flight at a time. Now, he recently flew out for an overseas appearance where the crowd layout looked less like a full arena and more like a high school auditorium. Now, think about that image for a minute, y'all. The king of pay-per-view. The man who generated hundreds of millions of dollars across HBO and Showtime. The man who once headlined the highest grossing fight in combat sports history. Now chasing six-figure appearance fees in jurisdictions with zero athletic commission oversight in front of half-empty rooms. But the money isn't even the most fascinating part of the story anymore. What's happening in Floyd's head right now is the part that's genuinely tragic. And I need you to stick around for the next part because this is where the story shifts from a financial breakdown into something much deeper.
Oh shit.
Chapter 5, the psychology of denial. Now here's something psychology teaches us that applies directly to what we're watching unfold in real time. When a person's entire identity gets fused to a specific status symbol, losing that symbol doesn't just feel like a setback. It feels like actual death.
Yeah,
Now,
because
Floyd Mayweather did not
it became
use
part
money
of the
to
person's
weaponize
identity.
it.
So
He used
yeah.
to prove that he was superior to his peers, superior to his opponents inside the ring, and untouchable by any system outside of it. He told the entire world for 2.5 decades that he was the smartest businessman in the history of sports. So ask yourself, how does a man like that process
A little
the fact that his
braggadocious,
bank
but
accounts
okay.
are actively draining in front of the public? He doesn't process it. He enters a state of hyper denial. If you watch Floyd's recent interviews and social media output, the defensiveness is off the charts. 20-minute rants against anyone who dares mention his finances. Screaming matches with reporters. Doubling down on empty flexes instead of addressing anything directly. He recently went live on Instagram surrounded by stacks of $100 bills, shouting to his followers that he's still a billionaire.
Well, was it real money or was it prop money? Because prop money is definitely created to look like real money. It's been used like in like music videos, movie sets, and like comedy shows and things like that.
But here's the detail that anyone who actually understands high finance immediately caught. Billionaires don't flash physical cash on a phone screen to convince
Not really.
strangers they have money. Billionaires have liquid capital
Oh,
sitting
not even at all.
quietly in high-yield vehicles and treasury bonds and managed portfolios that don't need to be photographed to be real. Flashing $100,000 in cash while you owe millions in back taxes and defaulted commercial debt isn't a flex. It's the loudest possible sign of financial insecurity. It's visual noise designed specifically to drown out the silence of an empty corporate account. And that denial isn't just embarrassing, it's actively making everything worse because it's driving him into something even more dangerous. Chapter 6.
Yeah,
The isolation spiral. Sources close to Mayweather Promotions camp indicate that Floyd has systematically pushed away any advisor, lawyer, or long-term friend who has tried to sit him down and talk about a real budget. He does not want to hear the word downsize. He does not want to hear the word restructure. To Floyd, cutting his entourage or selling his jets isn't a smart business move. In his mind, it's an admission of defeat. He's telling his lifelong rival 50
That's
Cent
stupid.
he was right.
If it's true.
It's telling the entire boxing world that critics call it incorrectly. It's telling his millions of followers that the myth is over. So instead of protecting what wealth he has left, he does the opposite. He doubles down on the burn rate. He keeps the full entourage on payroll even when there's no active fight camp to justify the expense. He keeps the private jets flying even when he has to take out high-interest short-term loans just to pay the pilots. He is quite literally burning the furniture to keep the house warm, all while smiling for the cameras and telling the world everything is completely fine. And that brings us to one move his team is banking everything on to fix all of that in one shot.
Let me guess, a fight against a legend? Like maybe Pacquiao, maybe Mike Tyson? I don't know.
Chapter 7. The Pacquiao bailout.
Okay.
Look, at the nature of his
right.
upcoming fights, because this is where the desperation becomes impossible to ignore. The rumored rematch with Manny Pacquiao reportedly being eyed for the Sphere in Las Vegas, with talks of distribution through a streaming platform like Netflix, is being framed by Floyd's team as, quote, a celebration of greatness. Now let's be honest about what this actually is. It's an emergency financial bailout dressed up as nostalgia. Pacquiao is in his late 40s. Floyd is nearly 50. This isn't a sporting event at that point. It's a nostalgic circus built to capture one last massive liquid payday from a casual viewing audience who remember the names from a decade ago. But here's the problem Floyd's denial won't let him see, and this is the mathematical truth underneath this entire story. A single $100 million payday cannot fix a structurally broken financial foundation. Do the math with me. If you land $100 million, but your lifestyle costs $50 million a year to maintain, and you're already sitting on $80 million in toxic debt,
Boy, you are
failed
in
real
debt.
estate partnerships, and mounting legal fees, that new money is gone before it even finishes clearing escrow.
Sure.
It hits the account, plugs the most immediate holes, and leaves you exactly where you started, searching for the next exhibition, the next foreign market, the next promoter willing to cut a quick check just to keep the lights on. That's not a comeback, that's a treadmill. Chapter 8. History repeats itself.
History
and here's
repeats
the real
itself.
tragedy buried underneath all of this.
Okay.
Floyd Mayweather built the single greatest defense the sports has ever seen inside that ring. But he forgot one thing. Life hits you from all angles. You can't shoulder roll away from it. Now, he spent 25 years protecting his undefeated record, and somewhere along the way, he convinced himself that because he has never lost inside the squared circle, he could never lose the game of life outside of it. But if
That's debatable.
financial system doesn't care about your defense, the IRS doesn't care about your footwork. Depreciating assets, predatory advisors, over-leveraged real estate, and out-of-control burn rate will knock out a billionaire faster than any left hook ever could. And we genuinely seen this exact story before. We watched Mike Tyson lose $300 million fortune and have to rebuild his entire life from absolute scratch.
God
We
damn.
watched Evander Holyfield lose his 100-room mansion to foreclosure.
Oh my
We watched
gosh.
MC Hammer go from top of the entire music industry straight into bankruptcy court.
Wow.
In 2026, Floyd Money Mayweather is walking down the exact same road. The only difference is he's doing it with his eyes wide shut, screaming to the world that he's still the king, while the walls come down around him in full public view. Now the facade is crumbling, the receipts are public, and the cash is running dry. The only real question left is how long this illusion can survive before the final bell actually rings on the Money Team empire. Now I want to hear from you directly right now. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think Floyd Mayweather is genuinely a financial death spiral, or is this denial just part of the show he's always played for the cameras? Do you think the Pacquiao rematch can actually save what's left of the Money Team empire, or is it already too late to fix a foundation this broken? Now I read every single comment, so let's get this discussion going. If this one hit different, make sure you tap that like button, send this to somebody who needs to see the truth behind the hype, and subscribe to Lionel B Story.
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end it up here. Because, you know, it's only like a few seconds left or whatever. But anyway, y'all, if this is true, I mean, shit, Floyd has to do whatever he needs to do in order to, you know, get rid of that debt. Otherwise, he'll be screwed for quite a while. I mean, if anything, his children might have to get jobs, you know, just like the rest of us or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with working the job. You hear me? Shit, you gotta make money. You gotta make money, man. You gotta find a way to survive. It is what it is. Alright, y'all. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, / hit the bell icon to stay tuned for more. And then if possible, feel free to hit that super chat / donate, as it is the best way to support your boy. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.